It's just that we're not taught in medical school that it's the bad diets causing this. All we're taught is learn everything you can to stop this. And right now, I teach doctors at conferences. When they find out there's more they can do, they're always grateful to learn it. But if you can change this, you can take less medications here and you can help yourself here. So what can you do? This is what's missing from a lot of information. It's like, okay, you've told me what not to eat, but what the heck do I eat, right? Well, I teach something about adding nourishment, or really what I call hyper-nourishment. So hyper-nourishment is an overdose in the nutrients that actually help your body repair itself. And if you can overdose in the nutrients your body uses to repair itself, then your body can sink into cellular repair and not just help you with what's going on today, like a virus floating by, but it can heal damage that happened in the past. You have about 100 trillion-ish cells. Having a little bit more fruits and vegetables is not going to change things for you for disease reversal. You need to hyper-nourish to get that kind of result. So number one, you need to focus on raw vegetables. I know people prefer cooked, and they'll even say, I read in a study that you can absorb more of this with cooked vegetables, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you can find things that say many things, right? Just like you can find people who say many things as well. But I only teach what I have found to be true from results, because if you look hard enough, you can find studies that say opposite things. Have you found that? Isn't that annoying? I have now worked with thousands of people around the world, thousands, and many of them watching them every day in rapid recovery. And we've been able to figure out even dosages of what we need to help people actually start changing their health. And what we found is that we don't get the result with the cooked vegetables. We get them with the raw. Research is now caught up to some of the reasons why, which I'll share with you. But what we found is if you can get at least a pound a day, especially cruciferous vegetables, see that broccoli and cauliflower, at least a pound a day, you can start actually accelerating cellular repair in a way where you can experience a change in your symptoms. More is better, but at least a pound a day. Pound a day, keep the doctor away, right? So vegetables, really key. All right, at least a pound a day. Now, why raw? Well, as I said, results mean the most to me, but there have been some studies that have shown some of the reasoning. Remember how I just mentioned sulforaphane and how it's found to be anti-cancer and how it is found to block things like COVID replication? Well, sulforaphane, which is just one little micronutrient in cruciferous vegetables, which have more micronutrients than anything on the planet. That's why if you're going to eat one, eat them, because you don't need to eat a rainbow if you're eating broccoli. It's got all the rainbow inside of it, okay? But sulforaphane, just this one micronutrient, when you give someone 200 grams of raw cooked broccoli, the study showed, the bioavailability, how much sulforaphane ends up in your bloodstream, is 37% when raw, 3% cooked. Look at the difference. You kill the sulforaphane. So if you're eating broccoli and kale so that you can make sure that you don't get cancer or kill cancer cells, and so you can make sure that you can block all those cold viruses, if you're cooking it, you're not getting the protection. They also found that raw broccoli resulted in faster absorption of sulforaphane, higher bioavailability, and higher peak plasma concentrations compared to cooked, dramatically higher. And again, remember how important that was for decreasing the viral load of COVID and other viruses. They've also found that it blocks things like hepatitis C, dengue, right? And again, how it blocks cancer. So just for that one nutrient alone, you want to eat it raw, right? But there's other reasons. They looked at raw kale and prostaglandin E2. Remember prostaglandin E2? So they found that you could significantly reduce prostaglandin E2 from raw kale. That's this one right here. People with irritable bowel disease and inflammatory bowel disease are told to eat low FODMAP diets, low fiber diets, don't eat vegetables, definitely don't eat raw vegetables. Meanwhile, you need that to get rid of the bowel inflammation. We've got to eat these foods. And if you're struggling to eat them because you have bowel issues, I can help you do that. We can figure out how to slowly introduce them until your bowel's strong enough. But just eating kale alone, raw, can make a difference here. Cooking kale significantly reduced vitamin C by 89%. How many are you spending money on a vitamin C supplement? Kale's got incredible amounts of vitamin C unless you cook it. Polyphenols, 56% reduction. Antioxidants, you know how important antioxidants are, right? For cancer and other things, reduced by 38% by cooking. And of course, the clinical results I showed you, the profound changes in people's health. I have so many people who have come to me, doctors, nurses, and customers, like clients and patients in the places where I can be their doctor, that have done regular plant-based diets with cooked food and didn't get the results, or got better, but not all the way. And then they added hyper-nourishment, and within days to weeks, their symptoms went away. The clinical results are profound. Water intake. Water is ignored by physicians. I don't hear anyone talking about it in their protocols at all. It is a critical thing for maintaining your function of your cells in your body. Even mild dehydration has dramatic effects on your ability to exercise, your wellness, your brain function. But it's also, dehydration is the leading cause of headache, constipation, and low energy. That trifecta, like most Americans complain about that, and they're spending tons of money on headache medication and laxatives and energy drinks, and they're just dehydrated. Water consumption is also associated with your metabolic rate, how well you burn fat. So if you're on that treadmill running away and you're not burning fat and you think you're eating healthy, you might just be dehydrated. It actually increases fat oxidation to drink water. I know you're all sipping water right now because I give this talk all the time, and I always see the entire room pick up their water bottle at the same time when I'm teaching this. And dehydration causes damage to your cellular membranes and increased cell death. So when we're trying to help people heal, we recommend at least 96 ounces of water a day, unless you have reasons you can't. If you have heart failure or kidney failure and your doctor has you on water restriction, please listen to that. You also do need to consume sodium. I know people hear terrible things about sodium. That's because most people are severely dehydrated. But when you are hydrating yourself, sodium is an electrolyte. And if you drown out that electrolyte, at best, you're going to pee most of the water out. Now, worse, you can get yourself really dizzy and lightheaded or pass out. So please make sure you get at least a teaspoon of salt a day while you're getting your high amounts of water in. But most people go with a full gallon a day. I usually do. The benefits are amazing. I made these slides. What I'm showing you right now is my medical keynote that I made for Kaiser Permanente's wellness retreat. But I really find it important for doctors to understand the benefits of water, because most people just don't drink enough of it. But it helps with things like kidney stones, UTIs, high blood pressure, blood clots, fatal coronary disease, strokes, dental disease. A lot of people don't realize how much the health of your gums and your teeth rely on your hydration. Diabetes, gallstones, mitral valve prolapse, glaucoma, and is indicated as being one of the causes of exercise-induced asthma and even cystic fibrosis. You need water. You don't need some special tea that grows in a rainforest. You need to drink your water, okay? And finally, the other thing that you need is omega-3 fatty acids. This is where fats come to save the day. And I have fought hard. And thankfully, I think I've been successful. When I first was teaching this in the plant-based movement, they were saying, no fat, no fat, no fat. Fats are bad for you. It's just not true. I've heard that too much fat's bad for heart disease. I've heard too much fat is bad for that. It'll make you fat, that any fat that you eat becomes body fat. And it is 100% not true. And we know because we've tested this. There are certain fats you need. And omega-3s are it, all right? Omega-3s, you cannot make them, so you can only get them by eating them. And the highest plant-based source of omega-3s that you can get are flax and chia, unless you're out there eating algae off of the seafloor. This is cheap and easy way to get it. And it works, all right? So this is a good fat. And this is my favorite way. It is important for so many things. And so I'm so happy now to hear the other plant-based doctors catch up and start to say to eat these. Now, a lot of them are still scared, so they'll say, like, have a tablespoon. We've tested mega doses, thousands of calories of omega-3 fatty acids, and the only thing we've had is faster recovery and faster fat loss, and with no upper limit. So they are not to be feared. What they do, one is they integrate into your cellular membranes and improve cellular communication and cellular function. So, for example, when you do not have enough omega-3s, your body will use something else because our bodies are designed to survive. And so just like, I don't know if you've ever played with Legos. My son Solomon was obsessed with Legos. And if he couldn't find a piece, he would just panic. And I would say, hey, what about, you could just use this piece, this will fit. And he'd get mad at me because it wasn't right. And I'd always say, hey, perfection's the enemy of done, man. Let's just use this and keep building. And it works, right? But if you replace too many pieces with the wrong piece, eventually you don't get the right project. Well, your body does the same thing. So if you don't have enough omega-3s, it'll usually use omega-6 instead. Now, omega-6 is in everything. It's in nuts and seeds, it's in animal products, it's even in plant foods, and it's very, very available everywhere. So your body will put omega-6 instead, but omega-6 doesn't function as well, and it makes the cell membrane pretty rigid, and it's not able to receive communication as well. So a lot of times the nutrients you're eating can't get into the cell effectively, and the toxins can't get out. And if you are toxic and you can't get nutrients in to fix it, you're going to have more cell death, you're going to have more disease. That makes sense? When you get the omega-3s into your system, then your body immediately sucks those omega-3s in. And that's why a lot of times people will say, hey, my blood test still doesn't show my omega-3s are up. That's because they have found within minutes of consuming omega-3s, they are absorbed into the cell membranes. Because just like Solomon would have with his Lego, you go, oh my God, that's the right piece. And it replaced it. So nutrients will get in, toxins come out. I think this is one of the reasons why people sometimes have a period of what they call detox, where suddenly they're like, ooh, I've been doing this for a week and suddenly I feel more achy and tired. Those are released into the bloodstream and cleared, and then people start feeling really good. So very, very important. It's also important for your brain health and your nervous system. So omega-3 fatty acids are also supposed to be the primary fat in the layer around your neurons. So I've helped people reverse MS. I've also had 2 people with ALS do rapid recovery who both showed benefits of reversing symptoms and moving the clock backwards, which was also amazing. That's another one we're gonna have to write up, as well as things like neuropathies, right? So they are important for building blocks of your healthy neurons, which also is important for your brain, your memory, your mood, cognitive function. There was a study that showed that omega-3 fatty acids alone can act as a mood stabilizer and was beneficial in people with bipolar illness and severe depression, anti-aging for your nervous system, and has been shown to be protective. Just omega-3 alone found improvement in learning, memory, and function in a study on Alzheimer's. But the thing that I love the most, right, is what it does for the immune system. So in the immune system, we create anti-inflammatory immune cells too. So I showed you earlier a slide of omega-6 fatty acids and how they create your inflammatory immune system. Well, there's a very similar chart that we use for understanding what the anti-inflammatory immune system looks like. So this is part of your anti-inflammatory immune system, that prostaglandin E3 and leukotriene B5. And omega-3 fatty acids provide ALA, which is broken down into what a lot of people have heard of here, EPA and DHA, which is important for different brain health and function, as well as ALA2, which has been studied to show on its own is protective for memory and cognition. So it's important that we get this as well and don't just take something that only has this. And this actually is what brings you down to baseline, right? So when you get sick, you need your anti-inflammatory immune system to repair the damage and bring you back to your baseline, back to normal. That's like when you do construction in your house, after they fix everything, there's a mess. This is what cleans up the mess, right? So what has created our results, and I use this slide because I married a software engineer who then became a health engineer, is that we hack people's health this way through this pathway. That these are the 2 pathways of your immune system, right? And again, it's more complex, but this is a basic way to understand it, right? Now, here's the LA pathway that leads to the inflammatory immune system. Here's the ALA pathway that leads to the anti-inflammatory. Now, one of the issues that people have is these two products are broken down by the same enzyme, okay, delta-6 desaturase. Now, if any of you have ever heard that if you eat flax and chia, you don't break down enough ALA to get significant amounts of EPA and DHA. It just doesn't work. That's not actually true. The reason that was initially found is because this enzyme prefers this pathway. If you are eating animal fats and processed foods and vegetable oils and things like that are super high in omega-6, you will take this enzyme this way, because the enzyme will work harder on this side. I don't know why that is. We don't know how to ask, all right? But if you remove this from your diet, then this enzyme will suddenly be extremely available for this pathway, and it works. Boom, right? Now, the other thing that's really cool, and I find this very cool, like to me, this is fun, right? Is that if you increase your levels of EPA and DHA, it also blocks the breakdown of arachidonic acid that I showed you earlier, so right here.